What's up guys, Shouri here, and today we are continuing our series about how to become better and get to the top 100. Today we're mostly going to be focusing on getting better at your long range weapon, leading your shots, and how much going through these 100 ranks really helped me do that. And that is one of the most invaluable things you can do because it's much easier to do things up close. One thing I love about using the AK-47 is you can do an insane amount of damage from far away, and it's pretty easy to get the 60 bullet magazine. You can pretty much kill 2 to 3 people even from distance with this gun, but it is quite horrible up close, so you always want to try to get a backup weapon if you can. I like the MP5 or the P90, and it is super important to get used to having muscle memory, so when you're in those high pressure situations and someone comes up close, you can switch to it. But right here, we're making sure that we get good at leading our shots, so when people go and try to run away, we're able to kill them. So if they don't try to stay and fight, they're pretty screwed unless they try to do some Emma magic. But especially the edge playstyle that I like to use, where you're next to the gas, they kind of have no choice but to go forward, and that with this gun is an insane combo. The fact that they can't really just try to pull out some crazy trick movement, you really can just destroy the whole lobby from insane distance. And the best part about you doing it at distance is the fact that a lot of their guns won't be able to. So you have a lot more access to potential targets than potential enemies can target you. Right here, we do see that we're getting attacked from both sides. So we tried to go inside of the city there, but we did end up getting killed. So we're going to drop right down. Luckily, we did have enough money to buy both our guns. We didn't have enough to get any ammo though, so that is a little unfortunate. But fortunately, there was a guy to get an easy kill on. That gave us enough money to get some ammo, and then I'm going to show you my favorite spot for this type of end zone, and it is this building. The reason why is you can have a lot of cover because no one can really come up behind you. There's a ton of different pulley ropes right here that you can go up and down on, and you have a lot of really cool spots on top with like air conditioners and stuff to hide behind, so you have a lot of cover and you can see a lot of the map. But most importantly, you just have access to so many different escape routes, and until like the final circle, it's a really good like zone spot, so you have priority to pretty much all of the extra zones. Right here, not only do you have a good priority to the next zone, but you also have a nice protected way to get there. And as you can see, we're using these air conditioning units on top of the building to make sure the people in the other buildings can't shoot us, so they have to actually come up close to kill us, and from range they have absolutely no chance. Even if they do look like they're gonna have a chance, what we're doing with Ethan is we have the shield, and you never want to leave it to the last second with Ethan's shield. It's terrible, it always comes out late, and most of the time I don't even rely on a shield, but it's nice to have when you need it. His slide, on the other hand, was really nice, and it can help you get priority to different zones, especially in solo. Fighting isn't always the best thing to do. Sometimes it's better to slide past people. But right there, we just straight up fight him, and then when he was hiding behind, we threw a grenade and got our headshots in and got those kills. And we used this gun so much, we actually got number 2 overall in the server. And we started to branch out to more guns, and that's the whole point, is we get really good at a gun, and then over time, we can branch out more and more, and then you're going to be so good at that one gun that you can beat other people at their best guns. That's the whole point. And then over time, you want to get better at variety, understanding the different weapons, and it's all about putting in the reps, but I like to make sure that we have the one good long range one, and that's why we got number 2 with the AK-47. But right here, we are going to go ahead and get that guy up close in the medium range, which for this build, I swear to God, it's as close as this gun can kill people at. It literally can't hit people hip fire. That's why we always make sure we have this gun with it, and we are able to go ahead and get that 12th kill. We also are going to start to branch out as we go on to more different strikers and stuff, but for most of these at the beginning, we do have Ethan and Emma, which are the 2 I played the most at the start of the game, and it just helps you a lot be able to have a lot of mistakes. I definitely suggest Emma or even Ethan because of their shield and heals. Is you're getting better and better at the start, you have more forgiveness because you can heal yourself back up, or you have that shield damage, so if you get low and you need to heal heal, you can pop the shield out and then heal behind it, those kind of things. I always like to have more forgiving characters, and as I said, his shield is terrible, so if you use it when you need it, it'll lag and not count. So do make sure that you think of that if you do end up using them. So right here, we are going to just do our very best to go get a gun, and sadly, we only have enough money to get one gun. So we're going to go for our short range one. Even though most of this is about tracking and long range shooting, it is always better to just have an up-close gun in the end game. If you can only buy one gun and everyone knows you're in a final circle dropping on the only replicator, you have to buy what you can get from the buy station. You don't really get a choice. So that's why I always like to have my primary loadout be a short-range weapon. That way you can get in and out quick, and that's exactly what we're able to do. And fortunately for us, we were able to take someone else's long-range weapon. This is where Ethan's slide thing comes in super handy. We were able to go through, get and hug the rocks while still getting ahead of the zone. And right here, we're able to just wait for this guy to come down. We immediately start shooting him the second we see him. Luckily, the zone does help us some. He realized he was super screwed, so he just sat there and he was like, okay, we're good. Right here, we know that there's only 3 people left. Because of where we killed one of the people, I know there's a guy on this left side. I don't know where the other guy is, though. So we instantly kill him with that long-range weapon, and then we find out the last guy's behind us. We are in dire straits here with just such bad health. And right here, we do throw out our shield. This lets us be able to take out the guy's turret, but now we are one shot away from being dead. We run out of ammo, and oh my god, we actually got that, and I can't believe we lived there, but we did, and we got the win. And that game put us really close to the 800 mark that we ended up needing, so we only have one more game that we have to get, as long as we get first and a decent amount of kills. But remember, after you get 10 kills, none of your kills matter. Literally, it's all the same. So right here, we do immediately kill that person, and we see Flawless is in this game. Flawless is one of the top 50 players in the world. Very, very good player who always plays Kraken. Luckily, even though he was able to blind us, we were able to kill him anyways. But that definitely does put me on notice that he's in the lobby, and we definitely have to be careful. Sadly, that wasn't something that took away his extra respawner. He is still in the game, but right here we're just trying to pin these guys on the bridge. Remember, we want to practice our more long-range fights, make sure that we get our tracking down, and using as much of our bullets as good use bullets instead of just wasting them as possible, and just getting used to hitting those shots as people run away. If you can do that in solos, you can absolutely destroy people. And then if you're doing it, you get used to having the radars around you, getting used to turning on people like that for that triple kill, and you basically just get used to doing everything you need to do to put together a complete game, which can help you in squads and also just solo stuff at higher ranks later. And it's just a really good skill development being able to do this on your own, because you have a little bit of less backups. You have to get good at these things. You can't just rely on having a good teammate or just instantly dying in squads. You have to get good at these things, and once you do, it'll make it much better for your team when you play later and help you get those skills up. Right here, we're going to go ahead and pop Ethan's shield before we go ahead and heal, because that way, if anybody tries to shoot us in the back, they cannot. And yes, there have been a few too many zeros traumatized me, just flinging up the mountain and then getting right behind you when you're trying to heal. It is the worst. But right here, we know there's people coming up the side, and we know that the zone is going to be pushing them into us, so we can just go ahead, get out our short range weapon, and I'm telling you, this MP5 build is so insane on hipfire. It makes you waste your time when you're trying to dance around and dodge the bullets. It literally doesn't get dodged. It's so good. It is the best one up close by far, in my opinion. Right here, we are going to go ahead and make sure that we have all of our guns reloaded, and we are being really careful right here. There are no more respawners. There's 8 people in a very small space, so you got to make sure that you know everyone can see you whenever you get on top of these buildings, because it's just such a small space. And and with so many people, once they see you shooting, they might just go ahead, third party it, or at least put in some shots, not even expecting to go in and get the kills, but to make both of you die if they can. Right here, we want to make sure that no one can get in behind us, because remember, clearing your back at the zone is always the most important thing to do, and that way you won't end up getting sandwiched in between people, and that way we can go ahead, clear him at our back, and move forward. Go ahead, get that guy as well, and now we are one away from getting top 3, which will give us a 200-point game, which is all we need. And now we're top 3, and now all we gotta do is just go for the glory, and we might as well go for first. And I noticed, oh god, we got the triple kill, and there's only one guy left, and it has to be Flawless. And yes, we get the overkill onto Flawless to actually win and get top 800. Man, you really can't ask for any better than that of a story for your game for top 800, which is exactly where we land on the dot, and Flawless was 40th at the time when we weren't even on the board yet. But we are now.